Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of the Rod Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. What it do? How you doing today? Well, like I said before, Bill de Blasio is on a roll. Now, I am always on his case about the housing situation, and I'm going to stay on his case about the housing situation because the rent is just too god doggone high.
Rent is too damn high, and there's nothing else to talk about. Right. And I'll be doggone if I'm going to let you come and ask me a question about me when these people can't afford to pay their rent.
I understand.
They cannot afford to pay their rent.
Why
they cannot afford to pay their rent. They cannot afford to pay their rent.
The rent is too damn high. I agree with Jimmy. I quit. I'm out of here. The rent is too damn high.
And sure, we have housing developments popping up all over New York. We have housing development popping up all over the state of New York, all over the city of New York, all over Bronx, man, Staten Island, you name it, Brooklyn, housing, but most of them are housing for the wealthy. Now, the city has some kind of contract, and I guess Mayor Bloomberg put that in place, that if you're going to put a building up, some of the rooms you're going to have to lot out to people on fixed income or low income through a lottery process and an interviewing process and things like that, which oftentimes don't work out fair. And if you lose that house, it's available to anybody that got the dollar on original dollar and not based on a lottery, low cost, or low to moderate income scale. That need to change. He needs to go back to coming up with some kind of plan to have a robust public housing program or shared housing program or a co-op program, whatever, something that's going to help people here in the city of New York, because too many people just don't have the money to keep the rent. Right now, the average rent, and I don't know why I'm talking about the rent in New York City, this is not the subject, but the average rent in New York City for a one-bedroom apartment is almost $2,000. And oftentimes with that $2,000, people are taking one-bedroom apartments and splitting it up, making the living room one bedroom and renting it out to somebody, and making the bedroom a bedroom, renting that out just to pay this thing off on a monthly basis. But that's not the story I'm talking about. I'm going to give him praise for something that's going on right now. New York mayor to unveil a plan guaranteeing paid time off, aiming for it first. Guaranteeing paid time off. So he just got off. I just did a story about the guaranteed health care for all, and which is huge it basically plug up the loop. Well, I mean, we always had a program that could deal with the loophole that was in Obamacare. We already, New York City always had a public option. But this goes beyond the public option. This is guaranteeing health care for all, including undocumented workers. But this subject is about guaranteeing paid time off. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio will unveil legislation Wednesday, today, mandating, this is huge, mandating 2 weeks of paid time off for workers in the city, a move that would guarantee paid time off for an additional 500,000 people. Currently, right now, the state of New York are allowing corporations to come in, taking over government contracts that normally, taking over jobs that normally was in-house now. Taking over those contracts, cutting people off at their knees. People who work 20 hours, 10 years on a job under a government organization like MTA or the city of New York, NYC, whatever. And they're allowing these jobs to be offshore. I wouldn't say off. Allowing these jobs to be set off to private corporation, allowing private corporation to take over this operation. And now those workers are working for private corporations instead of working for the city or working for the states, when at first they were working for the state and working for the city. And by doing that, it takes away their tenure. They start off brand new in this new company instead of keeping their tenure in the original MTA or state or city system. And that's sad. And that ought not be. So what Mayor de Blasio says, look, this is going to be a proposal which would have to win approval from City Council. Now, City Council is pro-people. We have a great City Council, and they're the one that mandated that New York City started subsidizing the MetroCard program because most people couldn't afford MetroCard, and a lot of people are jumping the stalls or getting tickets for not being able to afford to get on the train or subway or bus, but yet they have to make that risk because they don't have money. So this is going to go to City Council, and they say the City Council will make New York a pioneer in labor law. No U.S. city or state requires paid time off for the workers, while Puerto Rico does require employers to pay for time off. The law would exempt firms and fewer than 5 employees from the requirement. At least 20 countries, including New Zealand, Ireland, and Greece, mandated at least 10 days of paid vacation. Now, these are what you call, a lot of them are socialist countries. Mandated at least 10 days of paid vacation, making the United States an outlier in not offering these benefits. Several states and cities have adopted mandatory paid sick leave since 2011, but not paid vacation. De Blasio push comes one day after he announced the initiative to guarantee health care for all citizens, all city residents, including undocumented immigrants, pledging $100 million and a commitment to extend health insurance to an additional 600 New York residents. Now, again, $100 million, they're going to make a big deal and say it's unaffordable when we spend we spend more than that on health care every year because people can't afford it and somebody got to pay it. And it goes to the taxpayers. So instead of doing it on the back end, do it on the front end. I mean, just say I work a job and they take out, let's say, $10 a month out of my check. That's $120 a year out of my check. Now imagine you doing that to 1 million New Yorkers that work. And there's about 1 million New Yorkers that work. You're not going to miss that. Maybe you can get a tax deduction for it, but that's going to pay for it over and above. So simple. And that's just one way. More than 500,000 hardworking men and women should earn paid personal time when they contribute the success to their companies. De Blasio said in an email, our city business will benefit from a more productive, healthier workforce by putting workers first. Putting workers first. You hear that, business owners? Put your workers first. Because your workers are the one that's going to help you become successful, not you and your so-called big brain. New York City economy has never been stronger. While the city council is overwhelmingly controlled by Democrats, the plan is likely to engender opposition from city business communities, which has already cried foul over the mayor's tax increase. Take care of your workers and your business will prosper. Start complaining. The legislation would extend paid leave to 200,000 workers in the hotel and food industry. They deserve it. 180,000 workers in professional and business services such as cleaners, clerical workers, and sales workers, and 90,000 workers in retail, according to the mayor's office. Companies would be required to grant at least 2 weeks off for full-time workers and paid time off for part-time workers. Now, look, like I said, most companies, they allow you to come in. Some of them give you, after a year's time, you get 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Most companies make you earn. No matter what, you can be 10 years, still going to earn your vacation. But some companies start you out with just 5 days. But the city and the mayor is saying, look, I want you to give them 2 weeks. Why? Because a healthy, productive worker means a healthy, productive company. Now, Republicans are quick to criticize the plan, of course, because they're arguing it would hurt employers and workers. How? Workers going to be good. Employers going to have fresh, committed, happy workers, which makes the company even more profitable. Everyone wants employees to have a fair amount of vacation, but one-size-fits-all government mandate tends to make it harder to hire, grow businesses, and create jobs. We ain't got that problem in New York. Jobs are coming in left and right. But these jobs think they can just take over the workers. No. All right, so this is what Michael Steele said, a Republican operative who served as an aide to the former House Speaker John A. Boehner. This sounds like that's what this would do. The Harris Foundation, oh my God, friend of Obama, a conservative think tank, has criticized mandatory paid sick leave on similar grounds, arguing such policies hurt workers and customers in part by forcing workers to cover for those who misuse the benefits. These plans can also reduce take-home pay, according to the Harris Foundation. James Shirk. Well, James Shirk, you can shut up because it doesn't do that. Okay? Workers need to have time off. Workers need to have time to spend with their family and be refreshed so they can be productive workers in society. But taking these things and not offering to it, you think that's going to help you? Come on. Anyway, let me keep going. Robert Hockett, a professor of law and finances at Cornell University, said the plan could improve New York City's economy by boosting workers' morale and was unlikely to lead to a major exodus of firms who have other reasons to stay in the city. The legislation is modeled in part after de Blasio paid sick leave law, which was implemented by the city in 2014. So that's why I said New York is becoming a great place to stay, minus the rent. Once you get the rent taken care of, it's even more beautiful. So we got paid sick leave. Now he wants guaranteed paid paid time off. He don't call it vacation, but paid time off for 2 weeks. Of course, we'll hear from some economists that businesses will consider relocating as a result, but that's just rubbish, Hockett said. The things that attract companies to being in New York in the first place won't just go away when something like this is put into action. In other words, stop your lying. People love knowing that their business is in New York. People love to come to New York and do business. They're not leaving New York. And if we can get a healthy, productive workforce, the company is going to be more prosperous. Paul Sun, State Policy Program Director at the left-leaning National Employee Law Project, said the legislation could also help address the growing number of hours Americans are working without greater benefit or pay. A huge share of both working and middle-class New Yorkers who don't get much paid time off stand to benefit. It would protect them from having to choose between losing pay and going to their kids' graduation, funerals of loved ones. This is what Sun said. It would be historic. Like I said, these things are addressing, and these are step-by-step way to get a productive company or a productive, happy, healthy workforce, happy, healthy company, is when you do whatever you can to minimize the cost on people. Allow them to put more money in the free market, since Republicans love to talk and conservatives love to talk about free market. The free market ain't so free. And right now, people are not putting money into the economy because they don't have the money. That's why it is essential that New York City and the whole state need to go to $15 with increase. New York City shouldn't even be at $15 because the cost of living here is so high. New York City, based on inflation and the cost, should be at a minimum $19, $20 an hour. It should be $15 across the state, but only New York City has $15. So don't let them blow you away and fool you thinking that $15 New York State it has $15 minimum wage. No, New York City, the 5 boroughs, not outside. Westchester County don't have it. Nassau County don't have it. Only New York City and the 5 boroughs. Now, eventually, they're going to get close to it. Whole state, they have no date to get to $15 an hour minimum wage. But in the city, $15 an hour wage is good. And hopefully companies will begin to bring the margin up, because it's not fair. You were already making $15 before the minimum wage went up, and everybody else was making $12 and $11. Now they're making $15. You should bump it up $3. That person shouldn't be at the same level as the person who are making $12, $13 an hour. Now they making $15. They should be at $17, $18 an hour. Now that's enough. This is important. So we need to have the money to put back into the economy. The $15 minimum wage for the city was a good thing. Not going out of your pocket paying for education is a good thing, because now you got more money to put into the economy. Not breaking the bank trying to get health coverage. Well, up to the next 2 years, because it's going to take this long to implement this program, that's more money that could be put into the economy. Paid vacation, paid sick time. Now people don't have to struggle and risk losing their job trying to get the going to the doctor or resting from being sick. Now we have people who want to be able to take time off and spend time with their family without worrying about risking their job or losing money or whatever. So these are good things. I applaud Mayor de Blasio for this situation by trying to implement this program. I think it's huge. Like I said, New York City will be the model for America. And I don't know if the reason he's doing that because he want to run for president. He can do all these things. He's still not the man because in my book, he's still a neo-liberal conservative. He's one of them Hillary Clinton corporate Democrats. He's trying his best to seem progressive. I tell you what, he's more progressive than Cuomo, who also wants to run for president. So I guess they're trying to out-progressive each other and trying to let America know who's the most progressive. Dude, I thank you for these policies that you're putting in place. But man, you ain't no progressive. Stop, man, stop. But I applaud you for implementing these programs. I mean, it's huge. So let me go over some of the things that New York is being blessed with now, happening right now, happened in the past, happening now, and ain't gonna happen in the future. Thanks to Cuomo and Bernie Sanders, we have anybody that's making less than $250,000 a year can go to a SUNY or CUNY college at no cost. Huge. $15 minimum wage, huge. Paid Medical and Family Leave Act, huge. Now he wants to guarantee 2-week paid time off. Now and then we got the sick leave, 5 days off the bat. You don't have to. You get it automatically. You know, you shouldn't have to earn it, but some company they leave the option for companies to make you earn it, which sucks. They need to change that. They need to mandate that if you've been here at least a year with the company, you automatically give them sick days. So I can go on and on and on. Now the city council passed that if you're making less than $24,000, I think $25,000 a year, and you got kids, you'll be able to get a very low cost or no cost Metro card to get back and forth to work, school, whatever. Right now we have a program where the kids do not have to pay to ride the transit to get to school. They get to ride for free. And same thing with high school students. And now we got it available for college students at SUNY and CUNY. They don't have to come out their pocket if they're full-time. There's a program where they don't have to pay out of their pocket for transportation. They get an unlimited monthly Metro card. So New York has a lot of good things happening. Right now, Mayor de Blasio, I adjure you, tackle that rent, dog. Because the
Rent is too damn high. These people are suffering day and night. And I'll be doggone if I'm going to let you come and ask me a question about me when these people can't afford to pay their rent.
I understand.
They cannot afford to pay their rent.
Why
they
is it
cannot
too high?
afford to pay their
Okay,
rent. They cannot afford to pay their rent.